Says going live. Oh, it says we're live. Thank goodness. I was having technical difficulties this morning for some reason. YouTube kept saying that I couldn't go live. Bad YouTube. All right, we are here today. And I am trying to find out why there is a big, wow, the joys of going live. Why there's a big recliner behind me. It's always fun. Good morning. Welcome to the Real Estate Vault. I am your Techy Las Vegas transaction coordinator and your behind the scenes deal saver and your hostess for today's discussion, Rachelle Van Duser. Today, if you're a Las Vegas real estate agent who wants smoother escrows, fewer compliance headaches, and more time to actually generate income, then you're in the right place. Also, I want you all to remember that if you ever have topics that you want covered, I'm looking over here to check my chat every now and then, just so you know, but if there's ever any topics that you want covered, DM me and I will get them in there. I do these sessions for you, not for me. And so if there's any time you ever have any questions, you can put them in the chat while I'm live and I will get to them, or DM me and I will be sure to bring that up in the next session, which is usually every Tuesday at 10:30 Pacific time. And don't forget to subscribe. I always say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the week's vault sessions. All right. What do most transaction coordinators do? Most transaction coordinators upload paperwork, check some boxes with their action plans, send a reminder email or two, wait for someone to tell them something is missing, and usually need to be prompted by the agent, and or they start to do work when an issue comes up or somebody needs something. That's more administrative assistance. You are not being proactive and doing proactive transaction coordination and management. There's a huge, huge difference between uploading documents and being a transaction coordinator and also being a transaction manager. That brings everything together. So, what is that difference? And why do you need to make sure you have the right type of transaction coordinator? Here's how I run a file. I don't just upload paperwork to the CRM. First, you have to review all the documents before they get uploaded. I actually review the documents as soon as I get them, especially the RPA and any counters, which is when that's my trigger to take action when I go and do my action plans and everything else. Why this is important, because you catch it in the beginning. Sometimes I see, actually not sometimes, more often than not lately, the buyer is given a certain amount of time to respond in that RPA or that counter, and they will do the signature after. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? But they can cancel that agreement because of that and say they didn't sign in time. So they could still cancel that agreement on the buyer, and they may not like that too much. So I always say you should get an addendum that just clarifies anything like that needs to be updated in the RPA or any dates, that type of thing. Make sure an addendum is done, which your transaction coordinator with their license can do, to verify what those dates should be or what the incorrect or blank sessions should be on your RPA. You don't want deadline inconsistencies. That's a nice word, inconsistencies. You don't want to have compliance issues. Once it hits that broker system and gets uploaded, it should be clean and ready to go so that your file closes and you get paid. And if you're just uploading files and not checking them, then it can create broker audits, compliance calls, liability, et cetera, and that will delay things. Three-way text threads. This is up to the individual client. So you as an agent, let me know what you think about the text thread. But normally a three-way text thread is started between me, my agent, and the buyer or seller. Now you might ask why. And you may see, but don't you get a lot of text? Yes, but here is the huge benefit to having this. Communication delays kill momentum. Okay, think about that. Communication delays kill momentum. So if a question comes up about inspections, appraisals, deadlines, you're going to see all that in real time. No forwarding, no confusion, no I didn't know. Simple, efficient, and transparent. Everybody's in the loop and knows what's going on in this deal. Now, obviously, if it's something more personal you want to talk to the agent about, you're not going to put it on that main group text thread. But in general, it keeps everybody on the same page, and everybody at any given time should know what's going on with that deal so they don't have to ask. And I find that the clients really, really, really like this. It's something that most people don't do, which I get because you're getting all these, text threads coming through. But if you name them properly, it just really helps to stay on top of things. The other thing that they should be doing, I see TCs send out an email to escrow. They CC the lender. They CC the other agent. They CC, I don't know, anyone else that needs to be on the email. They send one email with all of the information. I do not do that. Now, it's more work. Yes, I agree. But I send a separate email to escrow, to the lender, to the buyer or seller, and to the co-op agent. Why? Why do this? One of the main reasons is, number one, if you CC everybody, then that lender in particular is going to be seeing everything that's going on with repairs, credits, concessions, negotiation details, all of that kind of stuff. That can impact your underwriting and your loan approval. Little tidbit, do not CC the lender on everything. They should be on a totally separate email. Why should the co-op agent not be on that email with all the information? Number one, they don't need to have your seller and or buyer phone number and email address. Not that they should be doing anything with it, but I just think it's a privacy thing and it's not necessary. Once again, too, if you as the TC CC the co-op realtor on everything, guess what? When the lender responds to that full text, you're going to see if that buyer and or seller, will be the buyer, depending on who you're representing, is having issues with the lender. If that's your client and your agent, you don't want the other co-op agent seeing that you're having issues with your lender. That could kill the deal. And they may not give you that extra time that you need to do your due diligence or the extra time you need for your loan contingency. So keep things separate. It is very, very important. Escrow needs different information than the lender. The buyer needs different guidance than the co-op agent. It's not about fewer emails. It's about smarter communication. I also send a detail what happens next email that goes out to the buyer or seller. Why? Because this gives key dates, the inspection timeline, the appraisal window, when the loan contingency is due, and closing expectations. Because guess what? If clients are confused and they're not in the loop, they're going to be calling who? You, the agent, at 9 o'clock at night on the weekends. You don't want that. If the deal's running smoothly, that means less phone calls for you, which means you can be out getting more business or spending time with your family. So educated clients close smoothly. Do I work 9 to 5 like most transaction coordinators? That is the biggest question that I get all the time. And actually, when I am being interviewed for the position, that is one of the first questions I get asked. Oh, so you work 9 to 5 like other transaction coordinators? No. The answer is no. Real estate is not on a banker's schedule. Counters, addendums, things like that expire by midnight. Sometimes things come up, we're waiting till the last minute, and an addendum needs to go out before midnight that night. So I'll get a text at 7 o'clock or a call that says, can you please get this addendum out? We've got to get it out before noon, get it over to the buyer to sign, and then get it over to the seller before midnight so that we meet our requirements. Inspection requests don't wait for Monday morning. I'm available 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday, and weekends as needed. I usually work on Saturdays. So, and on top of that, if something's urgent, like a counter has to go out before midnight or a text addendum, something like that, just text me with urgent and I'll jump right in. I understand how real estate works. I've been in the field before doing this myself, so I get that it's not a 9-to-5 job. We're a team. Your success equals my success. That's what I always like to tell people. And we cannot lose deals over timing, especially when it used to be a market where if that counter response did not get out within 5-10 minutes, then you would lose the deal. Those were the days when you really needed to have an on top of it transaction coordinator who is available when you needed them. Because what if you're on a family trip? And of course, that never fails. That's when a deal comes in and they need a response right away. So licensed transaction coordinator is very important. Don't lose those deals over timing. It's just not a good thing. Last but not least, if your transaction coordinator is just uploading paperwork, you're leaving protection and professionalism on the table. A great TC should protect your license, protect your time, protect that client experience, and protect your reputation. That's the biggest. Protect your reputation. Because if you have a bad reputation, I'm going to get a bad reputation, and especially vice versa. Ultimately, guess what? That protects your paycheck. Everything runs smoothly. You get paid faster. You don't have brokers calling saying, why isn't this uploaded? Why isn't that uploaded? And if by chance something is missing, guess what? Rachelle, where's this paperwork? Let's get it done. What's happening? And then you'll get an update right away. So if you're in Las Vegas and you're ready for a TC who actually manages your deal, not just your documents, direct message me. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on these weekly tips and tricks. DM me with anything you'd like me to discuss. And don't forget, I'm here every Tuesday. Rachelle Van Duser, your techie, Las Vegas transaction coordinator / TC, and your real estate automation vault hostess. Hope to see you next week, same time, every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Thanks so much for joining. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you again soon.